So we have seen the different data types in embedded C. Now we will move towards the different peripherals which are available with the microcontroller. Now there are three peripherals which are available with the microcontroller, in which the first one is timer, then the serial port, and the interrupts. So in this different peripherals, today we will start with the timers and counters. Okay, then we will see the serial ports, and then the last one will be the interrupt. So we'll start with the timers. Now see here, for microcontroller we have the module or the peripheral which is associated is timer or counter. So timer is specifically used to provide the delay in between the program or in between some events. Okay, and the counter is used to count the number of events generated at the external peripheral. Okay, are you getting it? So when we are using the peripheral as a timer, in that case, if suppose we have two events which are generated at the port pin, okay. For example, let's say if the port pin is connected to the particular, sensor or driver, okay. So if we want to start the driver for some time, then it is necessary to provide the delay, and after that we need to do the second action or second event. In that case, to provide the delay in between these two events, these timers are used. And when the same peripheral is used as a counter, it counts the events which are occurred at the peripheral field. Okay, so what does it mean? If suppose if any sensor is interfaced to the port and we want to calculate the number of inputs which are coming from the sensor for a specific time limit, then the number of events which are generated, or the inputs which are coming from the sensor to the particular port, that will be counted using a counter. Okay, so the use of timer and counter we can simply give with the example of a race. Okay, so everyone has played the video game in which you might have played the race. Okay, so when this either it may be a car race or bike race. So here you will find that from to starting point, when it reaches to a particular time limit or checkpoint, then the time required to reach from one point to the another point, it is nothing but the timer. Okay, and if you have a lapse in that race, then the number of checkpoints you are covering within that specific time limit, then that number of checkpoints are called as counts. So the same peripheral is used as a timer or a counter also. Okay. Now, if we see the architecture of this timer, so here to generate, when we are using a peripheral as a timer, we need to provide the delay. Okay, and to provide the delay, we need to use the oscillator frequency or internal oscillator frequency. So the timers can be, or the timer peripheral can be used by using internal oscillator frequency or the external oscillator frequency which are received at a pin. Okay, so when we are using internal oscillator, that is used for a timer. When we are using external oscillator, then it is used for the counter. So here, when we are using a particular peripheral as a timer, then the internal oscillator frequency is selected. If we are using as a counter, then external oscillator frequency is selected. Okay, so that is done by C oblique T bar. Okay, so what is C oblique T bar? What is gate? We will see afterwards. But just keep in mind, so that internal oscillator frequency is first will get divided by 12, and the actual time is calculated for the timer. Now, why it is divided by 12? Because an instruction cycle requires 12 clock pulses to execute a complete instruction. So if you want a single clock pulse, that will be received, or that will be taken by dividing the oscillator frequency by 12. Okay. Then the next one is, when we are taking a particular count, or we want to provide a specific delay, that delay will get loaded into the two registers which are associated with the timers. These are called TH and TL. So the pair of TH and TL, we can save 16 bits, and these 16 bits can be used to provide a specific delay. And when the complete count gets overflowed, then the interrupt will get generated that will set the TF bit of the timer control register. So for every timer, here we have two special function registers. One is tmod, another one is tcon, and more two registers to hold the count for that specific timer. Okay. Now, when we are using external oscillator frequency, you can see here the external oscillator frequency. Then that specific module or the specific peripheral is used as a counter. Okay. Now, the next one is when we are using the timer, we need to initiate, or we need to keep the gate bit is 0 and the interrupt pin is 0. Okay, then and then only that will get enabled, or that particular timer will get enabled. Now, what is gate? See here, this gate which is used for the timer is to set whether to start the timer or to stop the timer. Okay, so for every timer we need to start. We need to have one start bit or to start the timer, and after that a stop bit or to stop the timer. Okay, so the delay will get provided from starting the timer to the stopping the timer. Okay, so that delay either will be provided by the software or will be provided by the hardware. Now for microcontroller 8051, by both ways, by using external hardware or by using software, this timer can be started or can be stopped. Okay, so when we are using the software at the time, this gate bit should keep as 0. This gate bit should be 0. If you are using external hardware, then this gate bit should be 1. Okay, so for time being, for these timers, always keep in mind the timer will start one and only when this gate is 0. Okay, and when the gate is 0, then and then only the timer will start. Okay. Now for timers, we have one TMOD register or one special function register. So already you have seen the architecture of this timer. So for this timer, keep in mind oscillator frequency is first will get divided by 12 if we are using that peripheral as a timer. So this section will be only used if the peripheral is used as a timer, and when we are using external oscillator frequency, let's say here T pin or timer pin, here when we are using external oscillator frequency, then that specific module or specific peripheral will be used as a counter. Okay, so for this TMOD bit, when this gate is 0, the timer will get enabled. Okay, then the next bit is C/T bar. So when this C/T bar is 0, then the specific peripheral is used as a timer and internal oscillator frequency is used. And when this C/T bar is 1, then the external oscillator frequency is used and the peripheral will be used as the counter. Okay, everyone is getting it? Just please give me the response by making microphone on, because the chat is disabled now. So yes, this counter is enabled when the C/T bar is 1. Now the next one is, for this timer we have 4 special function registers in which to set the timer and to start the timer, and two registers are used where the data will get stored, and this data or that count will get stored into this TH and TL register. These are two 8-bit registers, and that can be the data can be transferred into this THX and TLX using simple move instructions, just like we are transferring the data into accumulator or other registers. Okay. Now, when we move further, about the TMOD register or one special function register. So this TMOD register is used for the mode selection of timer. Okay. So here for microcontrollers there are 2 timers, timer 0 and timer 1. So to start any timer, any peripheral, or to use any peripheral as timer or counter, similarly to enable that particular timer or counter, here this TMOD register is necessary, or we need to set this TMOD register. Okay. So the 8 bits of this TMOD register are divided into 2 sections, in which the first 4 bits are used for, or this lower 4 bits are used for timer 0, and higher 4 bits are used for timer 1. Okay, and if you see the bits, the first MSB bit is gate for timer 1, and the third bit is also gate for timer 0. Now, what is the function of this gate? So when this gate is 0, then the timer or counter will get enabled. If this bit is 1, then that particular timer or counter will be disabled. Okay, or that can we can say when this gate is 1, then external triggering or external peripherals hardware is required to enable the timer. Okay, so always keep in mind whenever we are using that particular peripheral as timer or counter, this gate should be 0 or this gate bit should be 0. The next bit is C oblique P bar. Okay, so this C oblique P bar, when this bit is set, then that particular counter operation is used, or that particular peripheral will be used as a counter. If this T bit is C oblique P bar bit is 0, then that particular peripheral will be used as a timer. Okay. Then the remaining 4 bits, in which M0 and M1 for timer 1 and this M0 and M1 for timer 0, these are called as mode selection bit. Okay. And these timers are used into 4 different modes. So when these 2 bits are 0, 0, then it is called as 8-bit timer with 5-bit pre-scalar, or we can call it as 13-bit timer. So what does it mean? Here 13 bits of the 2 registers THX and TLX are used to set the count or to store the count. Okay. So when this M1 and M0 are 0, 1, then the mode will be 16-bit timer counter mode. That means all the 16 bits of THX and TLX are used to set the count. When this M1 and M0 both are 1, 0, then it is called as 8-bit auto reload timer. Okay. When these 2 bits are 1, 1, then it is called as split mode. So in this split mode, only timer 0 is used and timer 1 is turned off. That means here in this split mode, one register from TH and TL will be used for timer 0 and one will be used for timer 1. Okay, and both are from this timer 0. Okay, so from this timer 0 both are used, and in that case here this timer 1 is kept off. Okay. Now the next one is TCON register. Everyone understood about TMOD register, or should I repeat it? Hey, just give me the response. Justin, repeat. Cable. Okay. So I will repeat again. See here, in these timers, we will start from the initial. Okay. So when we are using the peripheral which are available into the microcontroller as a timer or counter, so here the timer peripheral is used to provide the delay in between the 2 events. Okay. So what is the meaning of events? Let's assume the microcontroller is used to turn on the LED of port 1. Okay, just I am giving one example. I want to turn on LED of LED which are connected to the port 1. Okay, I want to keep that particular port 1 or that LED on for some time, or let's say for 5 seconds or few seconds. Then I want to turn off the LED for few seconds. Again, I want to turn on the LED for few seconds, and again I want to turn off that LED for few seconds. So here, in between the turning on and off of that particular LED or that particular port, I need to provide the delay. Okay. Now this delay can either be provided by using software programming or by using timers. Okay. Already how to provide the delay using software programming we have seen in the previous few programs. Okay. But here, if suppose you have given a specific time delay or specific time, and you need to turn on and turn off by calculating that specific time, then that will be very easy when you are using timers. Okay. So here these timers are used to provide the delay. Okay, everyone got it? Please give me the response. Everyone got it? Okay. Now, please all, when you are giving the response, do not give it on the chat box. Just give on, just turn on the microphone and then give the response, because my I'm just presenting the PPT, so I'm unable to see the chat box again and again. Okay, so these are for providing the timer is used to provide the delay. Now, at the same time, if suppose I want to identify the number of events generated at a specific port pin. Okay, so event means we can say the number of triggers. Okay, let's say if suppose I'm interfacing any sensor or any what we can say, any sensor to the port. Okay, and how many times the sensor is giving some sort of data or trigger to that particular port pin. I want to take that particular count within a specific period of time. Let's say suppose within a 5 second, how many times the particular event has been occurred, then that event will be taken, or that the number of count will be loaded into the peripheral registers, or this timer count to peripheral register. Okay, everyone got it? So the timer is used to provide the delay also, and also the timer is used to calculate the number of counts generated or number of events generated at within a specific time. Okay, so when the peripheral is used as a timer, it will provide the delay. At the same time, the same peripheral can be used as a counter. Okay, everyone got it? Now, using this timer, we require 4 registers. Okay, in which the 2 special function registers are there, which are called as PMOR register and TCON register, where PMOR register is used for mode selection of timers. Okay, that means either for microcontrollers, as there are 2 timers, timer 0 and timer 1. So which timer will get enabled? What should be the count count that should be loaded into that particular timer, and at the same time, in which mode the timer will work, that will be set, or that will be calculated by using PMOR register. At the same time, to control the timer or to start and stop the timer, one more register is used, that is called as TCON register. So these 2 registers are used as a special function register. Similarly, for these timers, when we need to load the data, or we need to load the count, that count will get loaded into 2 more registers, which are called as TH register and TL register. So as there are 2 timers, these 2 registers will be TH0 and TL0, as at the same time TH1 and TL1. So these 2 registers are used where the data or where the count will get loaded. Okay. Now, if we see the architecture of timer, the same this peripheral will be used with the internal oscillator frequency as well as external oscillator frequency. So when we are using internal oscillator frequency, then that particular peripheral will work as a timer, and when it is used with the external oscillator frequency, then it is used as a counter. Okay. Now, if we see this internal oscillator frequency, it is first will get divided by 12, and then it is provided for the timer. Now, why it is divided by 12? Because every instruction cycle of microcontroller requires 12 clock periods or 12 clock cycles. So to calculate the count, we require a single clock pulse or single clock count. Okay, that's why the internal oscillator frequency will get divided by 12, and then it is provided for the timer. Now, when it is used as a counter, then no such divided by 12 network is required. Directly, the external oscillator is used to select or to generate the count. Okay, so when we are using external oscillator frequency, then it is used for a counter, and for timer we are using internal oscillator frequency. For microcontroller, internal oscillator frequency is 11.0592, or simply we can say 12 megahertz frequency is available for internal oscillator frequency. Okay, so here whatever the count is available, that count will get provided into the THX and TLX register. Okay, so the maximum count that can be loaded into this THX and TLX will be FFFF. So the count will be from 00000 to FFFF. So when this count is getting overloaded or overflow, then here it will generate the interrupt by setting the TFX bit. Okay, so this TFX bit is available in TCON register. Okay. Now here all these timers are enabled when this gate is enabled, or when this gate bit is 0. Okay. Now what is the function of this gate? Here every timer or counter needs to be started and needs to be stopped. Okay. So starting of the timer and stopping of the timer can be either by using software programming, or that can be started, or timer can be started or stopped by using external hardware. Okay, so when we are using the software, at that time this gate bit or this gate should be 0, and when we are using external hardware, then this gate should be 1. Okay, everyone got it? Are you getting what I am telling you? Okay, so here input facing. So here I think there are some problems. Okay, so when the gate is 0, then the timer will get enabled. Okay, now for this timer, we have special function register, in which first one is T-mod register. Okay, now what is T-mod register? Here this T-mod register is divided into two sections, in which the lower 4 bits are used for timer 0, the higher 4 bits are used for timer 1. Okay, in which the MSB bit, that is gate bit, and even D3 bit is also gate bit. And what is the function here? When this gate bit is 0, then the timer or counter will get enabled, and when this bit is 1, then the timer or counter will get disabled. Okay. The next bit is C/P bar bit. So when this bit is 0, then the peripheral will work as the timer, and when this bit is 1, then that particular peripheral will use as counter. Now here every timer which is available in 8051 works into different modes, and for timers there are 4 different modes, and these modes will get selected by the mode selection bits M1 and M0. So these two lower D0 and D1 bit are used for mode selection of timer 0, and D4 and D5, these 2 bits are used for the mode selection of timer 1. And these are the modes. So when these 2 bits are 00, then it is called as 13-bit timer. What does it mean? The TH and TL registers where we are storing the count. So that only 13 bits from these 2 registers are used for storing the count. Okay, in which that 8 bits of TH and 5 bits of TL are used for to set the count. When these 2 bits are 0, 1, then it is called as 16-bit timer counter mode. So here all the 16 bits, that means 8 bits from TH and 8 bits from TL, both these 2 registers are used to set the count. So the maximum count will be from 00000 to FFFF. So that much of count we can store into the 2 registers. Okay. So now when M1 and M0, these 2 bits are 10, then it is called as 8-bit auto reload timer counter. So here only 8 bits of TH and TL, from TL are used, and the same data or that 8-bit data will get loaded into the TH also. That means for both the registers, the same count will get loaded, and when the count is overflow or when the counter becomes 0, again that will get auto reloaded, and the programmer need not require to load the count again. Okay, so it is called as auto reload mode. When these 2 bits are 1 1 or M1 and M0, these 2 bits are 1 1, then it is called as split mode. So in split mode, the timer 1 is off and the count registers TH and TL. Okay, so these 2 registers are used for timer 0 as well as timer 1. That means one 8-bit register is used for timer 0 and one 8-bit register is used for timer 1. Okay. Now everyone got it? Everyone got it about what is the timer, what is counter, and then why sorry, SFR TMOD, the function of SFR TMOD. Okay. Now the next one is the one more SFR which is available in with the timer, that is TCON register. Okay. It is called as timer control register. So higher 4 bits of these register are used for timer. So in this higher 4 bits, the TF1, when this bit is this is called as timer 1 overflow flag. That means, as we have seen in the architecture, when the counter register or that register TH and TL0, these two registers are overflow, then it will set this particular bit, TF bit. So TF1 is used for timer 1 overflow flag. Then TF0 is used for timer 0 overflow flag. Okay. Then the TR1 bit of this TCON register, it is called as the timer 1 run control bit, and TR0 it is called as timer 0 run control bit. Okay. And what is the function here? To start the timer, we need to set that particular bit. So when by software or by programming, when we set that particular bit, the timer will get started, and when we clear that bit, the timer will be stopped. Okay. So previously what I have told you, when we are enabling gate as 0, at that time we are starting the timer by using the software programming or by using software. Okay. So here when we are using gate 0, at the time we need to set or clear this TR0 and TR1 and TR0. So TR0 is for timer 0 and TR1 is for timer 1. Okay. The remaining 4 bits are for interrupts. So IE1 and IE0, these are external interrupts which are available into the microcontroller. So we will see the details of these interrupts when we study the interrupt peripheral. But for time being, keep in mind this IE1 is external interrupt 1 and IE0 is external interrupt 0, and these are interrupt edge flags, and these are set by the hardware or by external interrupt, as it is external interrupt that will be set or cleared by the external pin. Okay. Then IT0 and IT1, these are interrupt control bits. So when during the programming, to set or clear these interrupts here, these are set or cleared by specifying the falling edge, or when we are setting or enabling the interrupt as low level triggered interrupt, then these 2 bits are used. Okay. So the details of this interrupt edge flags will be studied during the interrupt peripheral. But for time being, for timer, keep in mind here for TCON register, here these 4 bits are used, TR0 and TR1. These are called as timer 1 run control bit to start the timer, and TF0 and TF1, these are for when the overflow occurs, these particular bits will get set and it will generate the timer interrupt. Okay. Everyone got the TCON registers? Everyone understood about the TCON register? The working of TCON register? Okay. Now we will move further with the modes of timer. Okay. So here we have seen this TMOD register, TCON register. Now we'll move towards the timer modes. Okay. So for 8051, we have 2 timers, timer 0 and timer 1, in which timer 0 works into these 4 different modes. Mode 0, it is 13-bit timer. Mode 1, 16-bit timer. Mode 2, 8-bit auto reload mode, and mode 3 is split mode. But timer 1 is used with 13-bit timer, then 16-bit timer and 8-bit auto reload mode. Okay, or mode 2. Mode 3 is not available in timer 1. Why it is so? Because for mode 3, timer 1 is turned off and the two registers TH and TH0 and TL0 from this timer, one is used for timer 0 and one is used for timer 1. Okay. Now we will see how it will work. Now see, when we are using timer 0 in mode timer 0 in mode 0. Okay. So here what will happen? For timer, oscillator frequency will first will get divided by 12. Sorry. When this timer C oblique T bar is 0, it is working as timer mode. So this oscillator frequency will first get divided by 12, and that frequency will be provided to the for timer mode module. Now, when we are using mode 0, only 13 bits of this TH0 and TL0 are used. Okay, that means 8 bits from TH0 and 5 bits from TL0. So the maximum count which we can load into this TH0 and TL0 is 1FFF. That will be the maximum count which we can store into TH0 and TL0. Now, when it gets overflow, or when it reaches to the maximum value of 1FFF, the next value will be 0. At the time, the TF0 bit will get set and it will generate the interrupt. Okay. In mode 1, here the working will be the same, but here TH0 and TL0, all the 8 bits from both the registers are used to set the count. So the maximum count which we can set is FFFF. That will be the maximum count. For the next count here, what will happen? Here this TH0 and TL0 will get overflow and it will set the TF0 bit of the TCON register and interrupt will get generated. Okay. Now for 8-bit auto reload mode, what will happen? Here the same count is available into TL0 and TH0. Then this TL0 will get overflow, or the maximum count which we can store into this TL0 will be FF. That will be the maximum count. So when it gets overflows, at the time it will set the TF0 bit and it will generate the interrupt. And when the interrupt will get generated, at the same time, the count which is available in TH0 will get auto reloaded into the TL0. Okay. So first, initially, the count which is loaded into TL0 and TH0 both are same in auto reload mode. Okay. When TL0 gets overflow, at the time, interrupt will get generated and the count is again reloaded into the TL0 from TH0. Now in mode 3, or it is in split mode, the TL0 register or the count register is used with the timer 0. Okay. And when it gets overflow, then the interrupt will get generated. And TH0 is used with the timer 1. And when it gets overflow, the interrupt will get generated. That's why it is called as split mode. That means the two registers which are available into the timer 0, one is used for timer 0 and one is used for timer 1. Okay. So this mode is not available in timer 1. Okay. Now for timer 1, the same as that of timer 0. Here for mode 0, it is 13-bit timer mode. So 13 bits can be stored into the TH1 and TL1. Then for mode 1, 16 bits are used from TL1 and TH1. Then auto reload. Same count will be loaded into the TL1 and TH1. When TL1 gets overflow, the data or the count will get again reloaded from TH1. Okay. Now here main concern is how the particular count will get calculated and what is the necessity of that particular count. Okay. Now just assume that if we want to provide the delay of a specific time, or let's say if we want to provide the time delay of 10 microseconds. Okay. Now, if we want to provide this delay of 10 microseconds, the first necessary thing is that we need to calculate the number of count which we need to load into that specific TH and TL register. Okay. So for that purpose, we first require the oscillator frequency. First, we require oscillator frequency, right? Oscillator frequency. Now for timers, here this oscillator frequency, or for microcontrollers, the oscillator frequency is given as 11.059 megahertz. Okay, that is the oscillator frequency for microcontroller. Okay, but for the sake of simplicity, this oscillator frequency is considered as 12 megahertz, or in some cases we are considering 11.059 megahertz, and in some cases we are considering 12 megahertz as the oscillator frequency. Now this oscillator frequency first will get divided by 12. Okay, so just we will write here as 11.059 divided by 12. Okay, now why it is divided by 12? Because for, if we see the timer architecture here, we have seen that oscillator, internal oscillator frequency is first will get divided by 12. Okay, so 11.059 megahertz, that oscillator frequency will get first divided by 12. Okay, so the result will be, we'll calculate the result here. This is 11.059 11.059 divided by 12. Okay, so the result is 0.921. Okay, so the oscillator frequency which is required for timer is 0.921 megahertz. Okay, that is the frequency which is available for timer. Now this oscillator frequency, from this frequency we need to calculate the time. Okay, so here first already we know that f is equal to 1 by p, right? So the oscillator frequency is given as 0.992, so we can say 0.92 sorry, 1 divided by 0.92, 1 by 0.92 will give the actual time required for a single clock pulse. Okay, so here it will be 1 divided by 0.92, so 1.08 something. Okay, so this oscillator frequency will be 1.08. Now the frequency is in megahertz, right? Sorry, here it is 0. Something, right? Time. We are calculating the time now. So here for this equation we need to take it as time equal to 1 by f. And here for this when we are calculating time p is equal to 1 by f, here it is in megahertz. So when it when we are dividing the frequency, 1 divided by the frequency, here it comes as 1.089 microseconds. Okay, now this 1.08 microsecond is the time for a single clock. Okay, and according to that clock we need to calculate the time. Okay, now what is the required time, or what is the required time delay? 10 microseconds. Okay, that is the required time. Now when we are dividing this 10 microseconds with 1.08 microseconds, we are getting some sort of counts. Okay, so 10 divided by 1.08, the result will be 10 divided by 1.08. So this is 9259. That will be the count, 9.25, or simply we will take it as 9. Okay, so the result of this will be 9. Okay, so that will be the result, or that will be the count. Count is equal to 9. Everyone understood it? नाही लक्षात येतं का? अरे सर्वांना समजतं का? Okay, simply again I am repeating it. Say let's assume we require the time delay of 10 microseconds. Okay, and to provide the delay using 10 microseconds, we have two ways. Either you need to write the software programming, or you need to use timer. Okay, because timer is used to provide the delay. Okay, Now, when we are writing software programming, at that time we need to load some sort of count, and we need to calculate the number of clock pulses required for every instruction and so on. So simply using timers, we can provide the delay of 10 microseconds. Now, for that purpose, when we are using the timers here, keep in mind, when we see the architecture of timer, okay, where is it? So when we are using architecture of timer, see here the internal oscillator frequency is first will get divided by 12, then and then only the count or that particular frequency is used for timer. Okay, so here whatever the oscillator frequency which is available with the microcontroller is 11.059 megahertz. So first this 11.059 megahertz frequency will get divided by 12. So we are getting 0.921 megahertz is the actual frequency which is used for timer. Okay, everyone got it? So this is the actual frequency which is used for timers. Okay. Now from this frequency we can calculate the pulse. Okay. So the equation is time is inversely proportional to the frequency. So T equal to 1 by F. So the time will be 1 divided by 0.921 megahertz. So the actual time for one T state or for one clock is 1.08 microseconds. Okay, that is the time for one single clock. Okay, now the question is how many clocks are required to provide the delay. So for that purpose, what we need to do, we need to take the actual delay which what we are required, that is 10 microseconds, and what is the actual delay which is provided by one clock pulse, that is 1.08 microseconds. So these 10 microseconds will get divided by 1.08 microseconds, and the count comes as 9. Okay. That means we need to load this 9 into the TH0 and TL0 registers. Okay, or TH and TL registers. Now, how to load this count 9 into this TH and TL? So here, the maximum, so whatever the count which we are loading into the TH and TL register are, let's assume we are taking the timer is using into the 16-bit mode. So the minimum count is 0000. Okay, and maximum count is FFFF. Okay, and when the timer gets overflow, at the time what will happen? Here from this FFFF, sorry. Here, whatever the count is available, that count will get subtracted from this FFFF. Okay, everyone get it? So why? Because it is auto incremented. So for every time here, what will happen? The count will start from 0000, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. And how much count we require? We require the count of 9 only. That means here from this, the maximum count, we will subtract this 9, and then we will use that particular point or that particular count into the registers. Okay. Now the maximum value is FFFF. In the decimal form, it is written as 65535. Okay, 65535. That will be the maximum count. That will get subtracted from. So 9 will get subtracted from that count. Plus, we need to add one more count. Now, why this one more count? Because if we see in this architecture, this count will get overflow, and when it sets TF0 bit or TF bit, then the interrupt will get generated. That means one more count is also getting added into this timer. Okay, so here we need to add this count into this value. Okay, or simply you can write here as the same equation can be written as 65536 minus 9. Okay. So what is the result? The result will be 65527, I think, right? 65527. So that will be the actual count which we need to load into the TH and TL. Okay, so here we need to load the count as 65527. Okay. Now this count is in decimal format. Okay, so before loading it into that particular timer register, we need to convert this count into the hex format. Okay, so the hex format conversion will be simply, I'm taking here. I'm taking programmer window. So the count is 527. Okay. That is when it is converted into hex, the value is FFF7. So here, when we convert it into the hex, the value is FFF7. Okay, in which this FF, it is loaded into the TH register. So this FF is loaded into TH register, and F7, it is loaded into PL register. Got it? So FF highest 8 bits are loaded into the TH register, and lower 8 bits are loaded into the TL register. And then the timer is started. So here what will happen? That actual count which is loaded into the timer will be here F7. Now when the timer is started, F7. Okay. So when the timer is started, the next count will be here FFF8. Then the next count will be FFF9. After that, next count will be FFF8, and so on up to how much time? FFFF. That will be the maximum time. Okay. After that, the next count will be 0000 as it overflows, and it will set the TF0. Okay, everyone got it? That's why whatever the count which we are getting here, that count will get subtracted from the maximum count or highest count, and then whatever the count is remaining, that count is loaded into the TH and TL register which are available into the timer. Okay, because it is auto incrementing, it is not decrementing. So when this count gets overflow, it will set the TF bit of the TCON register, and it will generate the interrupt. And once the interrupt is generated, then according to the generation of interrupt, whatever the subroutine is necessary or to be executed, that will get executed. Okay, so everyone got it? How the timers are working and how the time is calculated into the timer? Okay. So the same case. Okay. Now see here, the same count we are taking with 65536 because we are taking 16-bit timer mode. Now, if suppose we are taking 13-bit timer mode, at the time the maximum count is 1FFF. Okay. So from this 1FFF, the 9 will get subtracted. Okay. So the conversion of 1FFF into the decimal will be 1FFF. When it is converted into the decimal, count is 8191. Okay. So here the value will be 8191 minus 9. So whatever the count is coming, that count will get again converted into the hex and loaded into the TH and TL register if it is 13-bit timer mode. Okay. If it is 8-bit auto reload mode, then the maximum count is 256. Okay, so 256 minus 9, whatever the count is count is coming, that count will get loaded into the TH and TL register. Okay, so depending upon the mode, here the count will get varied. Okay, so mode selection is also important while starting or enabling the timer, and at the same time here the count calculation is also necessary. Okay, so according to that count, here the delay will get provided. Okay, everyone got it?